Now you might ask, Sam, why are you in the woods in Berlin, Germany? Well, it's because I'm at Superbooth, which is the world's coolest collection of weird music nerd gear stuff. Which is awesome. Imagine NAMM, but only with cool synth stuff, and it kind of feels like a hippie camping festival. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to show you all the coolest things I saw at Superbooth 2026.
First up is Terra by SOMA Laboratory, a tactile tree trunk synth.
Yeah, so this is the SOMA Terra. I think it's available for 3-4 years now. So what you see here is, on one side, you dial in your notes, so you play your notes like on the keyboard. This is my keyboard.
Yeah.
But those, I always call them the golden bubbles, the sensors. You can have whatever pitch for each sensor, so you can dial in whatever pitch.
So you can make it whatever scale you want?
Yes, even microtonal. I'm a drummer, so I try to incorporate all kind of drum licks and stuff, and it becomes very, very personal very quickly because there's nothing else. It's not like you have to learn this scale or you have to do this song.
I found myself kind of like playing pretty percussively on it, like you were saying, and I'm not even a drummer.
Okay.
You know, but I found myself like, it's something about like the wood and it just like makes you want to do that, you know?
I think there are so many different ways to use it and to come up with your own ideas.
Yeah.
Next up is the Handytraxx by Korg. And I'm featuring this not because I know anything about turntables, but because this was my first time scratching.
Oh yeah!
Next up is Spotykach by Synthux, a crazy double modular looper.
My name is Roy, this is Synthux Academy. This is by far the flagship of the instruments that we have. It's called Spotykach. It is basically 2 loopers. We call it a looping playground. The idea is really simple. Tape is awesome, and you can do a lot of things with tape, and if you have 2 tapes connected in one place with effects embedded inside and modulation that you can patch and really see exactly what's going on in front of you, you could make really interesting things. Can be rhythmic and like DAW-less jamming connected to all your MIDI sequencing stuff or Eurorack, but it could also be just sound design, discovering how this sounds and how this sounds when I go into granular, but then flip it into a mono synthesizer, into a mono looper, or into slice and then pitch shift it.
Next up is the new Buchla Ziggy.
So the idea with Ziggy is it is sort of a Buchla for the everyman. So it starts with a complex oscillator and a modulation oscillator, characteristically Buchla. I have a couple wave shapes here, and I have continuous wave shaping. I have a timbre control for wave folding that we know and love from the 208C. And then I have a modulation oscillator. So I bring up the modulation amount, and then I'll start out an amplitude modulation in the low end, right? So I just have some sort of muddy modulation down there. But if I go into the high range, now we're in that sort of characteristic like Buchla, we're adding tonal content, timbral content to a complex oscillator instead of, like in subtractive synthesis, sending a complex waveform through a filter to take stuff out of it. So then we have, switched it into FM. So we get really just like crazy crunchy FM sounds, but we can also do like sort of musical sounds. So let's get an arpeggiation going. The hold on there. And then right now I do have some stereo delay going on, some ping pong. So one thing to note about this, it is a totally analog instrument until you get to the digital stereo effects, and the effects dry wet is an analog voltage divider circuit. So when this is turned all the way down, it is true analog signal path right to the output.
Next up is the Janko Keyboard, an alternative keyboard layout. Here's me improvising and having no clue what notes I'm playing.
Oh my God, what am I doing? So like, I've seen this,
Yes.
but I've never played one.
Okay.
What should I know?
Are you a piano player?
Yeah,
Okay. So are you also played another instrument?
I started on guitar.
Guitar. Oh, perfect. What is the difference between a guitar and a piano? If you want to play another or change keys.
So with a guitar, I can just slide up
Yeah.
and play the same shapes.
Yeah, yes.
On a keyboard, all different shapes if I want to change keys.
Exactly. You always have to think about, oh, in what key I playing now. So
Right.
our isomorphic keyboard solved this problem, because like a guitar, you learn one shape, for example, for one chord, and can transpose it anywhere to any key without relearning fingering.
It's so different than what I'm used to. But it's kind of cool, actually, playing and really having no idea what note is going to happen. Like, I think there's some magic in like when you pick up a new instrument and you don't know the notes.
Next up is Struktophon by Plonk, a contact mic specially made to pair with synthesizers.
So we are Plonk, a company based in Berlin, and we make contact microphones. And here at Superbooth we show our kind of new version of it, which we call the Struktophon. I think the main features we have is that on the one hand it's a very sensitive microphone, so you could also record the ticking of a clock, but at the same time we have such a dynamic range that you can also record drums.
Next is Transparentsea by GinTronic, a quadruple delay pedal.
Hey, I'm Richard from GinTronic. This is our first ever product. It's called the Transparentsea. The idea was to build a multi-effect that was powerful, but also extremely intuitive. There's a knob for everything. Nothing is hidden. You can jump on, immediately see what settings you've got, and just play with it. We wanted to make something that sounded good with keyboards, with synths, with we're big fans of like doorless setups, and I spend thousands of hours watching YouTube videos of doorless sets, and we wanted to build something that would fit nicely into that.
Next is Atrium, a tactile, gestural polyphonic synthesizer.
Okay, so you're the inventor of this.
I am, yeah.
What is this?
This is called Atrium. It's a polyphonic synthesizer, very focused on gesture and tactile interaction. In terms of the sound generation, it's as analog as it can be, but we have like a split, like one analog, one digital oscillator to be able to implement a few different modes in terms of how that sounds. Like, so we have like an 8, like kind of Juno-esque, two voices together, sub oscillator thing. You can do FM, and then there's also this formant mode, which is this interesting kind of raspy, pitch division, strangeness kind of machine.
And last but not least is Relic by Shear Electronics, a discrete analog polysynth.
So it's a discrete analog polyphonic synthesizer. There's 8 voice cores. Each voice has 2 VCOs and 1 filter. I think it's one of the most interesting filters that's available on any analog poly right now. The concept is simple, we started out as an Oberheim OBX clone, and the OBX is based on the SEM. So if you think back to the SEM filter, that just goes from a 2-pole low pass all the way up to a 2-pole high pass, and you can sweep that.